has come when we finally get to get rid of this horrendous tailpiece that houses the turn signals, the license plate, and the license plate light. To me, it's really the worst part about the design of this bike. I know there's DOT regulations and motorcycle companies have to abide by those and whatnot, but I think we can all agree, not a good look, ruins the lines of the bike. So I decided on going with this piece here, which is the New Rage Cycles turn signal kit. And I picked that up directly from them off their website. It was $125. And then I got this license plate bracket off of Amazon. It's a Fenix or Fenix, F-E-N-I-E-X Fusion L bracket. It was like $11.95. And then to illuminate it, I heard really good reviews about this TST low profile LED license plate light. And I got it directly off their website. It was, I think it was $15.99. Pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive. So for the whole setup, I got everything for just over $153, which I don't think is bad. I was looking at the Evotech rear turn signals and license plate kit, but I just couldn't get over the heat shields. I really didn't like the way that they looked. You know, Evotech makes really great products, really high quality products, but and then the price point, it was a little bit more money. It was $221 from motivationusa.com. So anyways, guys, gonna get started on this and can't wait to see the results. The first thing we have to remove to get access to this tail section is this cover, and these two bolts right here are a 4mm Allen wrench or a 4mm hex socket. Once that cover is removed, you'll see that there's 3 bolts holding the bracket to the bike. So these are a 6mm Allen or a 6mm hex socket. Go ahead and remove those. Once those bolts are out, this bracket just drops down and you can see our exposed wires for our right turn signal, left turn signal, as well as the rear license plate. And all the connectors are held together by that little strap there. You'll just undo this strap and then disconnect all your wires. Now that we have all the wires disconnected, we can go ahead and connect the New Rage Cycles turn signal kit. So first issue I'm running into, so the prongs inside of these connectors aren't super straight. They're kind of bent down. So it happened on both sides. As you can see, I've got the right one connected. This left one I'm still having problems with. I just took a screwdriver, a really thin screwdriver, and I was able to pry them up a little bit. You can see that one on the left, I've got to pry up a little bit more to get it straightened out. In order to get this bracket to fit in between here, you've got to take out that bolt that's right back here. It's the same size as the bolts that hold the cover that goes over here in place. It's just a 4mm hex, so you can either use a 4mm Allen or a 4mm hex socket. New turn signal bracket is in place. Wires are all connected. The only thing that's not connected is the license plate light connector. I'm gonna have to obviously wire that up once I get the bracket put in place down here. But all that's left to do is to button this up and get the cover back on. Cover's back on, everything's plugged in and buttoned up. And this is how it looks. Now that the turn signals are installed, it's time to start working on mounting the license plate bracket under here. So in order to do that, got to remove the seat. In order to take the seat off, you have to take this bolt out. It's a T40 torque fitting. And if you don't have a T40 torque fitting, your bike comes with one right there. And the other thing you have to do to remove the seat is once that bolt is removed, take the front part of the seat and just pull up. There's a tab right there on this side, you can see it. And then same on this side, there's another tab over here. And then seat just slides off and you'll have access to the battery. Seat came off, super easy. But in order to mount that license plate bracket where I want to mount it, I'm going to have to remove the battery and get access to right underneath it. Right, battery is out, and now I'm going to start getting some measurements and figure out exactly where I want to drill those holes to place the hardware to mount this license plate bracket. All right, guys, I got the holes drilled for the license plate bracket. What I did was I made a paper template, and I made sure that on the inside of this battery box that the holes weren't gonna be too wide to interfere. There's some plastic pieces on the inside of here that I wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna interfere with that. I measured a bunch, and then when I went to drill my holes, I realized that it's too small of a space to fit my drill with the drill bit to get a straight shot. So what I did was I took this sharp nail that I had, and after I marked everything out, I just created a real small pilot hole on each side within the plastic. And then I took a small drill bit and I just by hand started twisting it and augering through, and it was able to make it all the way through. And then I found the drill bit that I'm going to use for the size hardware, the size bolts I'm going to put through here. And I did the same thing, and I was able just to use my hand to get it to go through. So it turned out pretty good. I'm just now going to head to the hardware store and get some bolts that are going to work really well, that are going to be flush on the other side of this so that the battery can sit relatively flush within the battery box. Here's what the bracket looks like mounted in place. I don't have it tightened up all the way. These holes need to get drilled larger to mount the license plate. And I drilled a third hole here for the wire for the LED light so that can go through there, and I can run it up through the tail and wire it into the harness. And then up top here, I got bolts with Allen heads on them so that they would be really flush and they wouldn't stick up too high and push up on the battery. It's mounted up, the LED light is mounted, and I just realized that I don't have my actual plate yet. I only have my temporary tag still. So I was just gonna put the plate, this is double-sided tape, and apparently it's very, very sticky. I was gonna sandwich the plate here, and then this would be between the bracket and the plate, and so it wouldn't go anywhere. But for the time being, at the hardware store, I just picked up some of this Scotch clear mounting squares, and I just put 3 of the squares behind here in between the plate and the light. So that way I can put my temporary tag here, bolt it up, and it won't go anywhere. And I think it'll hold until I get my plate and mount the plate. And next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this wire shorter for the license plate light and then connect it here into this harness. I used the connectors that came in the kit with the license plate light from TST. They're fairly easy to use. On this plug, the yellow light is power and the black is ground. And on here, the red is power, black is ground. And we've got light. Just wanted to show you without any ambient light how bright this TST LED light actually is. All right, guys, this is the finished product. It looks so much better without that giant tail hanging off the back end. New rage cycles, indicators, TST light, and Amazon bracket. Go ahead and turn the key on, show you how bright it is. Obviously, it doesn't look the best. I've got a temporary tag on there. MVD still hasn't sent me my plate yet. Could take another week or 2 before it gets here, but it looks like it's gonna be plenty bright at night, have good visibility of the plate. I think it's far enough away from the fender that the plate won't hit. And I just think it looks so much better, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions of how I did anything or need any help on anything, go ahead and ask those questions in the comments. I'll do my best to guide you through if I can. And don't be afraid to get a little bit outside your comfort zone and do some modifications on your motorcycle. Thanks, guys.